Okay, so Jack Smith, federal persecutor Jack Smith, can't call him a prosecutor because he himself is illegal. According to the Constitution, Congress has to appoint you before you can prosecute or persecute another president. He wasn't, which is why the classified documents case was thrown out. So I don't know. We'll call him federal persecutor since he's not a prosecutor, not a federal one anyway, and should not legally be able to persecute Donald Trump. Anyway, the number one news story in the nation yesterday and into the early morning hours today was the federal persecution of Donald Trump. Headlines all read something like this: Donald Trump indicted, Donald Trump charged, new crimes, new criminal crime, Trump charged, criminal crime, Trump indict. Something like that. And folks, this is a show for the low information voter, okay, who kind of has a vague sense that Trump's, got some criminal convictions or some criminal stuff going on. It makes it look like, wow, there he goes again, getting indicted again. What a criminal that man is. You've got to read down in the stories because they never put in the headlines way down to find out, well, these are the same charges. He's refiling the case. It is a different grand jury, so they are different charges. But in terms of the actual wording, no, they are the same charges. The other charges were thrown out after the Supreme Court ruling that they couldn't do it because they ignored his immunity privilege as president. All presidents have immunity privilege. Okay. So why do this? Why do this? If Trump wins the presidency, he could just pardon himself. Jack Smith's out of luck. Why do this? He's not, all the experts agree, going to be able to try Trump before the election or really even before the inauguration. Why do this? Two reasons. Number one, to get the headline to pound into the public. Oh, look, Kamala's a prosecutor. Trump's a criminal. So there's that. It's useful for the narrative, but that's not the primary purpose. No, the reason that he did this, besides getting the headlines, trying to point out to everybody that he's a criminal when he's not. By the way, these are the January 6th charges, just so you know. What was the protest about? Mostly peaceful. Didn't even have any fires, like a typical Democrat, mostly peaceful protest, where 200 to, how much was it again? Under Tim Walz, $500 million worth of damage to businesses. Mostly peaceful, though, other than that. $500 million over the 2 days he didn't act. Tim Walz, vice presidential candidate. Anyway, sorry, I was distracted. Yeah, the mostly peaceful January 6th protest, fire-free, no smoke whatsoever. Yeah, nobody died. 30 people died in the summer of love. Mostly peaceful protests on January 6th. What was that about? Because if there'd been actual election fraud, it would have been justified, wouldn't it? Yeah. Well, we're now finding evidence of that fraud, particularly in Georgia. Media doesn't want you to know that. Anyway, why is Jack Smith doing this? Well, two reasons. Well, number one is a deadline. There was a deadline to refile the case after the Supreme Court ruling, so they're trying to get it under the wire. Again, why do that? If Trump wins, he can just dismiss the whole thing. I mean, he'll just give himself immunity, basically. I mean, he'll just pardon himself, is what I'm saying. Why do it? Because there's another part of this nobody's talking about on our side. If Trump loses, and I wonder how often he thinks of this, he's a human being. He's going to prison. He's going to prison for the rest of his life. And they want Republicans to see this. They want folks to understand the ramifications of running against them. You can run against us, but we're going to take laws and use them against you in ways that have no legal precedent. In other words, ways you cannot anticipate. You can try to be moral. You can try to be 100% lawful in your dealings. You can consult a lawyer on everything. You can have one follow you around all day. Doesn't matter. We will make something up. We will twist a law in a way you can't possibly anticipate. And we control all the judges. We will get you. How many years is Donald Trump facing right now? Well, we don't know if the classified documents case will be back, but if that one is not resurrected, roughly 600. If he loses this election, he will spend the rest of his life in prison, but it's worse than that. Who will he be a ward of? We don't know where they'll put him. They say put him in Rikers, maybe house arrest. I don't know what they'll do, but it doesn't matter. Who will he be a ward of? Think about this for a minute. It's practically a death sentence. He'll be a ward of the Secret Service. Yeah. The people supposed to protect him from assassins, that Secret Service. He'll be a ward of the Secret Service. How long do you think he's going to make it as a ward of the Secret Service? Would he get me a year? I mean, to live. 2? The people obstructing Congress right now, the people who lied to Congress, that's a felony, by the way. The people who are fixing to get a subpoena because they won't turn over the ballistics reports, the people whose leadership lied, not one, but 2 directors lied to Congress about who actually fired the shot that stopped the shooter, those people. Those people. He will be a ward of those people. That is a completely captured agency. Think about that. That is his penalty if he does not win. And they are doing this as a sign. You might be Ron DeSantis. You may be a lawyer yourself. You might be J.D. Vance. You won't escape. You run against us, you will face hundreds of years in prison. That is the message. That is why Jack Smith made sure to get this case refiled under the wire. And I see these idiots on TV, legal commentators. Well, I don't know why they're pursuing this. I mean, they can't have a trial before, because lawfare. Yeah, I get it. They can't have a trial before the election. That's not the point. The point is for Republicans to see Donald Trump led away in handcuffs, a forever ward of a Secret Service agency that appears to have tried to facilitate his murder. You want to join him? Run against us. That's the message. It doesn't end Election Day. It doesn't end Election Day. Either way, it doesn't end Election Day. And they're going to try to pursue him. And can they drag him away as president? Probably not, but they bend and subvert laws, norms, and precedents all the time and then just ignore him. So I mean, maybe they can. Maybe they could drag him out of the White House. Don't put anything past these people. They are desperate to hang on to power. They are.